This is Nikki Bell. Let's go. So, a little bit about me. Here I am again, sending you some valuable information. I am Nikki, the strategist, private sector representing investors, founders, business owners, decision makers, etc., and over 100 industries worldwide for 15 years. So I always have something going on, some sort of information, some project I'm working on, with decision makers or investors or what have you. And today I found some information where I had gathered a bunch of stuff for a presentation, and I came up with like these bullet points, right? For when an investor is investing in a company, some of the things that you need to look for, but generally just like across the board, what you need to be doing for yourself, for your own sanity, so that you don't do something majorly bad, okay? Because it will happen if you are not taking these initial steps, all right? So one of the things, and we're going to begin, today's going to be a little short. One of the things that you need to be looking at when you're investing, going into business, what have you, you've been in business for a while, you may want to brush up on some stuff, which is not in here, but you should have a business proposal or a business plan that you did maybe 10 years ago, that you did 5 years ago when you were just starting out. And then what you do is you brush up on that each year, right? You, whoever works for you, whatever. Constantly going back to that and saying, how can we grow from this beginning point? Always go back to the basics and keep it basic, okay? I may not sound basic, right? I may not sound simple, but when I'm talking to individuals, I do make it very simple because I already know some of these things are going to be complicated as you go and do a deeper dive. So here we go. Things to look for when investing. You want to look for, particularly when we're talking about entrepreneurs, even founders and startups, and they present you with some stuff, you want to look at their pitch deck and be weary of the ones that say they have no competitors. That is a famous line that many people use. Oh, we have no competitors. We are so unique. We are the only ones doing this. No, you're not. Okay? I don't even think ChatGPT said that when they were looking for funding and people to invest in them. They knew they had some competitors. They knew they had some conglomerates. Google, is like the main one. I wasn't going to say Amazon, but just their growth in and of itself makes them a competitor, not so much what they do. Any other companies that are doing artificial intelligence were their competitors. So they have a lot of competitors, and they still have a lot of competitors. Okay, that one always gets me. This first one. They come to you, investor, funder, whoever you might be, and they say, here's our pitch deck. They pitch to you, and then they say, we have no competitors. It's a bunch of BS. Don't believe it. Don't fall for it, okay? It actually makes it more risky. When they, also the next thing is when they assume that there are no financial projections, okay? They assume that because they have no money or they're broke, they cannot project anything. Or they might over project, okay? So they're only making 100,000, but they over project and say, hey, we're close to 1 million. Okay, folks, that's just a straight out lie, all right? The numbers, whether they are projections, meaning estimates of what they're going to be doing in the future, whether they are actual numbers of where they're at, whatever. When we talk about projections, it's in the future, right? Usually estimates, but some people will come up with where they're at, which is great, which is what we need. And they may feel like they don't have a whole lot of money when they do, Okay? We need to see these numbers. We need to know what you're thinking, where you're going with it, so on and so forth. We need to see this, not you making up numbers, those who are asking for money. So you want folks who project who you are, which is truthful, honest, and building that trust. In order to build that trust, you need to be transparent, okay? And show us what you have, show us what you don't have, and don't make any assumptions that it's not needed. That is the ultimate number one thing that is needed. We need numbers, current, invisible numbers, future numbers, transactional numbers, budget numbers, line by line item. We need it all. Okay? So those who say, we don't. We just got pictures on the pitch deck. Please don't invest in them. Just don't. The next thing is the legal paperwork properly prepared is one of my bullets. Is the legal paperwork properly prepared? This is very, very important. You yourself, if you're investing in anything, I don't care what it is, real estate, whatever, you want to make sure that the paperwork is legit, that it's together, okay? So maybe you invested in a property or something, and maybe the title company isn't giving you a copy of whatever you submitted, or it's an escrow, but you don't have an account number, or and these things happen, and it happens to the least expecting person. You don't expect these things to happen, so you don't want to make any assumptions. You want to do things old school, like I need a duplicate of this, I need a copy of this, I need a file on this, I need this to go and be organized this way. You tell your secretary whatever you need to do to stay on top of the things that you're investing in is very, very important. So there's also that's just an example, a little side example, but when we're coming to projects, very important that you have a contract somewhere. Doing things without a contract is very scary, very risque. I wouldn't do it. Just don't do it. So making sure that you have your paperwork in order, people know what their duties are, they know what they need to do, they know the deliverables that they need to give, they know the timeline, okay? And all of this, paperwork and whatever is in order. If you are, hiring consultants, people like myself, you want to do the same thing and make sure it's legal. It's legally binding, okay? You can have non-liable, non-exclusive, non-disclosures all you want, but that doesn't mean that no one's going to do the work. That's just the legal language that you're using to say, hey, you're not stipulated just to work with me in a non-inclusive. Me, I like the non-liables because it says, hey, I'm not liable for any decisions that you make as an investor, as a business owner. And then there's the last one, which is the non-disclosures. Okay, some people take it very seriously. It is a legal document. It needs to be taken seriously, so on and so forth. So make sure, and I can go into that whole spiel another time because I take contracts and actually use a red pen. I'm like, okay, people, you ready? You're sending me something. I'm going to pull out my red pen, and I don't look at things that are 10 pages long. Do not give me stuff that's 10 pages long unless it's some kind of SEC, Security Exchange Commission type contract where it's going to them. Then we can do 10, 20 page long, legal documents or contracts or whatever. But, paperwork should be simple and it should be legally binding in some instances. So, it's very, very important because I've seen people get screwed over with the whole, well, we verbally agree. That's just a no-no. So, there's so much more, but I'm going to stop. Thank you, and I will see you soon. This is Nikki Bell. Let's go.